When we have true focus and we have real honest ownership, what happens is we have a stronger vision. And you guys see this picture here? Our endurance in life is tied directly to the clarity of our vision, okay? When I talk about those runs, or I talk about 14-hour days selling books door to door, or all those summers, or whatever, it comes back to endurance. Endurance to think big, endurance to keep going, endurance to not settle, endurance to keep that smile. You've been knocked down, you've had people tell you. My second summer was in North Philly, my third summer was in Jersey, my fourth summer was in Long Island. They weren't real soft in those areas. They were pretty blunt. Boy, what you got in the bag? Why are you here? Why are you on my porch? Like, my vision had to be strong to keep enduring through that. You guys with me? So what's the action item here? This spring, are you tapping into that vision? Are you going deeper into your personal vision? This is one little example, okay? Your vision is the reality you live into, okay? You personally. This is still tied back to ownership, right? Because focus brings clarity. Ownership allows you to create the reality you live into. You're owning it. It's you creating it. Quit blaming and being a victim, okay? We believe a lot in this specific order. A strong vision starts with who I want to be. It's character traits. It's personal. It's stuff that's inside out. It's inside first, okay? It's not first like I want that boat, I want that trip, I want that car, I want to date that person, I want that trophy. Those things are cool too. Just chill out, hold on. Those things are awesome. But first, it's inside. It is traits about me. It is principles and core values that I live by. And then, man, number two, go crazy. The things I want to do. So first of all, who I want to be. The second one, the things I want to do personally and professionally. And if that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will. Like, go crazy on that one. That's a fun one, okay? And then the third one is the things I want to have, okay? And have fun. Here's my tip. Get out into your happy place, go to a coffee shop where you pop some headphones in, get your favorite drink, sit in a corner so there's no dang people, turn your freaking phone off or put it on airplane mode, and write. Tap into something that is deeper within inside of you. There's something deeper inside of, believe me, I haven't even gotten into it yet, and I've been working hard on it. I mean, I'm on it all the time, and I'm still going deeper. Okay? When we have focus and ownership, it leads to a stronger, more clear vision, right? The absence of belief is the creation of limits. Limits begin where belief ends. And I tell you what, tap into that. Like, take that on your flight home. Like, meditate on that sucker for a bit. And that is a neat way to look at it. How can I not have that absence of belief? Okay? I love this quote. Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There's no other route to success. Things that hold us back. Here's a couple things that could hold us back from a quantum leap. Number one is constantly looking around. Comparison is the thief of what? Okay, we know those little quotes. Those are nice quotes that people tweet and put out there and all that. But come on, like, I don't care what is on social, like, applying that to your life, okay? You have different, it's looking within. The idea of trying to stop comparing with other people and competing with your best. These are the quantum leap limitations. These are the things that hold us back from having a potential quantum leap, okay? The second thing on here is your ego, okay? It's being so wrapped up in me, okay? When I'm thinking about me, it's just, I'm not as good as I could have been. It's selfish. It's focused on self. And anything that's rooted in self, you're not going to be as great as if you're focused on others, okay? So trying to let go of that and focusing on serving others. The third one is complacency, which is sick. I hate complacency. So it's understanding the brain, it's understanding how and why this happens, and then it's building stronger self-talk through authentic affirmations. My first summer, my second day selling books, they had me go follow Doug Weller in Plano, Texas. And it was an OIC day. You know, they were like, your first day, just go out and do your best. You're going to get your butt handed to you. And then the second day, you'll be like, oh, I see. Now I get how to do it. And Doug used affirmations, right? So he would go to a door and he'd knock on the door and he'd say, my name's Doug, I'm talking to all the families in Plano, blah, blah, blah. And then they would shut the door and he'd be like, I love my job. And he'd grab his bag and he'd go to the next house. And then they would say no thanks and he'd say, what do you say? I love my job. And he'd go, he did it all day. I'm like this dude that had never been to Texas in July. I was hot. I was from Alaska. I'm just back there pouring with sweat, and like, I've never met Doug, and Doug's a weirdo. And I'm like, this is weird. And the next day I go back to my sales locality, but I'm supposed to be coachable. So I went to the first house and they said, no thanks. What did I say? I love my job. And I did it for till about noon. But guess what? I hated my job. I hated it. I called it Lucifer. It was the worst. I hated this job, okay? That was not an authentic affirmation. Every time I said it, it felt fake, okay? Thankfully, that summer, there was a lady named Ramona that was a girl, a student manager, and she said, why don't you let's work on some affirmations that work for you. What inspires you? I said, I love leaving a house feeling like I gave my best. I love having an hour where I feel like I made my best. And she helped me form affirmation. Every hour gets my best. Every family gets my best. I'm just spending time with cool moms. Like, affirmations that worked. They made me tick. Guess what? I actually started loving my job. Can you believe it? It's the same job. All that changed was what? Me. Here's a quick thing about us. That self-talk, Zig Ziglar taught us, you cannot operate in life in a manner that is inconsistent with your self-image. You as a human cannot operate in a manner that is inconsistent with your self-image. Self-talk leads to self-image, okay? I want to be known as a great listener. I want to be someone that's very intently in conversations. But if I walk around saying, I'm a great listener, but for me to just years ago, man, I love learning about people. I love understanding people's stories. Over time, I became a much better listener. The self-image was there. Our self-image leads to actions and behaviors, which then leads to the results. You guys know this stuff, okay? You know this, but it's the practicing of it. Those results then compound, and they turn into stronger self-talk, more believable self-talk, okay? These are appreciation affirmations. These are like thank yous. If you're spiritual, you can actually pray them. For me, that's how they work best. Lord, thank you for helping me be someone who follows through. Okay, then it's not rooted in me. If you're not as spiritual, but you can still not make it so much about you. Make sense? So work on these. This is not your list. If you want to tweak some of these, but work on these, they're incredibly helpful. I love this example. It's from the book Extreme Ownership. It says, for leaders, which everyone in this room is a leader, for you guys, the humility to admit and own mistakes and develop a plan to overcome them is essential to success. The best leaders are not driven by ego or personal agendas. They're simply focused on the mission and how best to accomplish it.